All right, we are now ready for 10.5. And you might be thinking, I couldn't find any videos for 10.4. If you'll notice, 10.4 was unassigned. I never did assign it, even if we had had a regular semester. It's basically on credit cards. It is incredibly complicated. And I thought it's just not something I think anybody does anymore, figures out their exact credit card payment for themselves. They let the bank tell them how much they owe and what their minimum payment is. So 10.5 is basically on loans, and we're going to do several things with loans. We're going to do 10.58. We're just going to do basic loans, basically car loans. If I was teaching the class on ground, I would give you a whole bunch of examples to help you buy a car. Maybe when I'm home, I might make a video that is on some of those things that you can watch at your leisure, even after the semester's over, I expect. But basically, car loans. And then we're going to go to housing loans, and we're going to talk about, after we do housing loans, we're going to talk in more detail about things like closing costs, and we're going to talk more about the cost of both good and bad credits so you can see what that does. We're going to talk about refinancing. So I may end up making about 3 videos for this section. And it's a very, very important section that shows up a lot on the next exam. So um, starting out with the car loan, I'm just going to go to the next page so that we start out with a clean piece of paper. So Tom and I are planning to buy a car this year. So let's say it's a $32,000 car. We actually plan to pay cash for it. We've been saving for a while, but most people don't do that. So um, we're going to assume a 9% tax. We're going to assume that we have saved a $12,000 down payment, and we're going to assume we can get an interest rate of 2.8% interest for 5 years with monthly payments. Okay, so we're going to ask several questions. What is the total price for the car? No, let's start out with what is the tax? So that's question 1. 2, what is the price of the car with tax? 3, how much are you borrowing? 4, what is 4? How much are your payments? And 5, how much did you pay for the car after 5 years? And so now I'll go to the next page and answer each of those questions. What is the tax? So question 1, what is the tax? We take the 32,000 and we multiply it by the 0.09. So 32,000 times the 0.09, and that gives us 2,880. Okay, question 2, what is the price of the car? The price of the car then is 32,000 plus the 2,880, so it's 34,880. And again, if I'm going too fast, just hit pause and let your brain get what I'm doing here. All right, so now question 3. How much are you borrowing? So we're not going to borrow the whole $34,880. We have to subtract the down payment, which we have $12,000 to put down on the car. That's the down payment. By the way, that might be cash, or it might be a trade-in on a car we already own that the car dealership has determined is still worth $12,000. So I got $34,880, and I subtract $12,000. I guess I could have done that in my head, and I get $22,880. Now, up until now, I never used the TVM solver, and you might be thinking, you learned how to use a TVM solver, why haven't you used it? I don't go to the TVM solver and until I know how much I'm borrowing. So $22,880 is how much I have to borrow. And so now I can go to the TVM solver. And this is very important. You don't use your PVM solver until you know how much you're going to borrow. Now, you might be going, hey, you never gave us a formula for this section. I am not going to bother to teach you how to use the formula because we have gone online and it is so gross. So if you want to go to your textbook and look at it, or if you want to look at the practice test I sent you, it gives you the formula. You never, ever have to use that formula if you have the TVM solver. So if you don't have the TVM solver, please download an app from somewhere. You should be able to find one for free. All right, so now I'm going to go to the TVM solver. So I turn my calculator on. I clear it. I hit apps. And the first thing that comes up is finance. And I hit enter. And I get my TVM solver. I hit enter. And then it says N equal. It says I percent equal. It says PV equal. It says PMT equal. It says FV equal. It says PYCY. Those are always the same for our class. And equal, and then be sure it's marked at end at the bottom. All right, so now we're going to put those numbers in. So I'm going to highlight the ones that you're going to be entering. On this particular problem, you're going to enter N. If you, it's a 5-year loan, so you can go 5 times 12, or you can just put in 60 directly. So you could put in the 5 times the 12. Your interest rates, I believe I said, I have to look back at my previous page, 2.8%. We got good credit here. All right, so we got 2.8% interest. All right, the present value is the amount we borrow. Okay, it's not the value of the car. The amount we borrow is $22,880. The payment is what I don't know. The future value is zero. That is zero because your goal is to pay the car off. And your PY and your CY are both 12. So those are the things that you have to enter. And now you put your cursor on payments. So let me put my numbers in here. Oops. Why am I not? Oh, there we go. That's a 60 for my N, and that's a 2.8, and that's a 22,880. And I don't know my payment. My future value is zero. My PYCY are 12. And now I move my cursor up to payment and I hit alpha, enter, after I put all the other values in, and it tells me my payment is $409.09. Hopefully you all got that value, $409.09. If you did not, you can check and make sure you put everything in correctly. And I'm going to do some, when I get home and you guys are back on April 9th, I'll set up some conference calls so you can ask me questions. All right, so that was the loan amount. Now, I want to just make a point before we go on of why credit is so important. If you don't know your credit score, you should. Go to Credit Karma is the one I use. I think it's spelled with a Karma, Credit Karma. And I check it every month. Just make sure my credit score is not changing, because if it's changing, that means something's happening that I don't know about because I always pay my bills. My credit score is well over 800. I think the highest it can be is 850. 700 is considered pretty good. If you're just below 700, you should be working on it. But if your credit score is low, and I have a brother who has a really low credit score, obviously not the rich one, but I have a brother who has a really low credit score. When he bought a car, he had to end up paying about 18% interest. I'm going to just change that to an 18. It was $409 when he had good credit. Look at how much it is if you have bad credit. Oops, clear that out. $581. So it went up by $180 just because his credit was bad. So you want to make sure you keep your credit clean. It'll make a huge difference. Okay, now going back to the questions we asked earlier, how much are you borrowing? How much are your payments? How much was paid after 5 years? This is one students often mess up. Here's how you calculate that. You paid $409.09. You did that 60 times. Plus, you paid $12,000 up front. A lot of people forget to add on the $12,000 they paid up front. So I paid $409.09. I did that 60 times. That is 24,500 some dollars. Add on the 12,000 I paid up front, and I paid a total of $36,545.40 for this vehicle. Okay, I hope that makes some sense to you. I'm going to stop that video there, and then we're going to go to buying a house.